Hello everyone, I'm Stu Unwin. It's currently Sunday the 10th of July 2016 and welcome to week 26 of my weight loss journey. In last week's video we saw that I had a loss of 4.2 kilograms, which is thereabouts 9.2 pounds. Fantastic result, and it also saw my body mass index go from 64.7 down to 63.5. I've been continuing to monitor my daily calorie intake. You can see this week's results in the graph above. This means my weekly daily average calorie intake stands at 2,539, which is down again from the previous week. So I'm still falling well within the 3,010 calorie allowance as what the app is allowing me to use or have. As you all know by now, my main method of exercise is just general bog standard walking. I'm not doing any additional exercise, it's just the normal day-to-day walking around work, around home, and if I have to do any additional jobs. So I'm not pushing a boat out on this, but you can see my daily exercise or step count in the graph above. My average for the week is 1,403 steps, which is slightly down from the previous week, which was at 1,580. As you may recall from last Sunday's video, I mentioned that I was going to start monitoring my weight on a day-to-day basis to see if I can see any pattern from the amount of calories I'm consuming to the amount of exercise, limited it is, that I'm doing as well. Okay, so let's see if I have any fluctuations in my weight over the week. You can see my calorie intake and the amount of steps that I've done over the last week. I've also added on there the green bar, which indicates my weigh-in result last Saturday, which was my week 25 weigh-in result. So if I now draw a line along the rest of the week to indicate week 25 result, which is indicated by the black solid line, we'll now easily be able to tell if I go up or below last Saturday's weigh-in result. Saturday's result was at 217.3 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 479.1 pounds. So if we now look at Sunday's result, it stands at 217.6 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 479.9 pounds. This means between Saturday and Sunday, I've gained 0.3 kilograms or 0.6 pound. On Monday, I weigh 218.1 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 480.8 pounds. This means between Sunday's and this Monday's result, I've gained a further 0.5 kilogram, which is 1.1 pound. So if we now look at Tuesday's result, I weigh 219 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 482.8 pounds, which means I've gained from Monday 0.9 kilogram, which is thereabouts 2 pounds in weight. Wednesday, I weighed 218.9 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 482.6 pounds. This means I've reduced my weight since the previous day by 0.1 kilogram, which is 0.2 pound. And if we now look at Thursday's weigh-in result, I weigh 218.5 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 481.7 pounds. That means between Wednesday and Thursday, I've lost 0.4 kilogram, which is 0.9 pound. And if we look at Friday's weigh-in, I weigh 218.2 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 481 pounds. This means between Thursday and Friday, I lost another 0.3 kilogram, or thereabouts 0.7 pound. So it's quite varied and surprisingly a lot of weight gain over there. Now, this is where we go on to the normal weekly weigh-in. So this is where we see if I've managed to lose any weight from the previous Saturday result. So here we go. Here's this week's weigh-in. I now weigh 217.2 kilograms, which is the equivalent of 478.8 pounds. This is the equivalent of 34 stone, 2.8 pounds. The difference between my weigh-in result last Saturday and this Saturday's weigh-in result is 0.1 kilogram or 0.3 pounds, but the difference between yesterday's weigh-in and today is 1 kilogram loss or 2.2 pounds loss. So it's quite varied, but overall, surprisingly for this week, because I was expecting to stay the same or gain weight, but to have a loss, I'm happy with it. No matter how small it is, I'm happy. Obviously, it looks like my body is taking 2 days to process whatever I've eaten. So, as you know, I've told you before, on a Saturday afternoon, after I weigh myself in the morning, I do usually treat myself, and that's indicated why I have such a high calorie intake on a Saturday. But looking as for over the week, it seems obviously the effect of that treat obviously starts to hit me in terms of weight gain, which is quite interesting. If we now look at my body mass index, based on this week's weight loss of 0.1 kilogram or 0.3 pounds, my body mass index remains the same as last week at 63.5. The reason for this is it's purely down to the way that I've been rounding up or down the results on my weekly weigh-ins. So in regards to my first weight loss target, I am now 89.1% complete. That means in the 26 weeks that I've been doing this journey, I've lost 62.4 pounds, which is the equivalent of 28.3 kilograms or 4 stone, 6.4 pounds in my money. I'm going to be continuing with the daily monitoring of my weight for the next week and see if it follows the similar pattern to what we've just observed. Again, I'm going to be monitoring my calorie intake and again sticking with my step count as well. Other than that, there's going to be no change to my diet over the week. And that's it, guys. That's all I have to report on this week's video. So as always, if you would like to continue hopefully seeing less of me, why don't you subscribe to my channel so you don't get to miss out on any future videos that I post. I wish you all a fantastic week and I'll see you all again next Sunday.